I just want to join with Mike, with Lanny, the prayers, what's already been said. We just love you, all of you women. We honor you. We are so thankful for every one of y'all. And I know that Mother's Day can be hard for a lot of different reasons. But I just want you to know that each one of y'all are indispensable to us. Honestly, we could not do without you. And I just thought about during that song we sang, you were born for just such a time as this. We need you. We need you now. I read an article this week. It talked about the ministry of the pew. And I thought about the women in this house and the ministry that goes on out here. You don't always have to have a microphone in your hand for ministry, and we value that in you, and we thank you for it. Thank you for it. I just wanted to say today that you being a woman, being a mother, is a gift. You know, these days we hear a lot about becoming the woman that we ought to be. Become the woman of your dreams, be the woman of your husband's dreams, your kids' dreams. Well, I want to tell you today that you are the woman that you are supposed to be, because you are the woman of God's dreams. You're a gift. You're a gift to your husband. You're a gift to your children. You're a gift to this church. You're a gift to the people that you work with. You are a precious gift. And when God made us women, He also gave us a gift. He gave us a gift of being feminine. And I don't know why, but I thought about Sunshine on this, because I could just hear her saying, can you imagine this world could have been full of all just men. Can you imagine what that would look like? So, yeah. God gave us a gift of being feminine. And the word tells us that in the beginning, that God made the world. And He looked at the world and He said, this is good. This is good. But then suddenly, God turned around and He declared, it is not good that man should be alone. And so God made a woman, a helper that was fit for a man. And then what does He do? He brings her to the man. I thought about Grace and Luke's wedding yesterday, as it was so beautiful, and as Jason walked Grace up the aisle to give her to her groom, I thought about that. That's really what God did. He walked the woman down the aisle to meet her groom. And the first words that came out of the man's mouth were words of joy over the woman. He said, this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. And really at that point, woman hadn't done anything except just exist. But I think Adam knew that the world needed women in it. And so he rejoiced. He rejoiced about it. And just like in the garden, in the church, it is not good for man to be alone. Adam, he couldn't have multiplied and taken dominion without a woman. And just like in the church, we can't multiply and take dominion without the women. I think it's in Matthew, it talks about the church being the witness and making disciples. We can't do that without women. And the Bible story itself, the Bible story it couldn't have been written without the testimony of women, faithful women. And these were married women, these were single women, these were widowed women, these were women with children, without children, rich women, poor women, all kinds of women. But they're there in the Bible, and thank God for them. And then I just have one other thing to say. To all of you mothers out there, and all of you, really it pertains to all of us, maybe a little more to younger mothers, but to us mature mothers too, and to spiritual mothers and natural mothers, I'm going to go out on a limb and sound arrogant, and I'm going to tell you what children need more than anything. Children need a mom that loves Jesus more than a perfect mother that has no baggage. They don't just need a mother who provides for them and feeds them and takes them everywhere and gives them everything they need. That's important that we do that. But they don't need a mother that does everything right. I can say this because I know, I've done it. I promise you, you're going to overreact. You're going to overcompensate. You're going to pass on a bad habit. You're going to discipline out of anger. You're going to say something bad, and you're going to make your kids cry. I promise you will at some point. But I guess what I'm saying is don't fixate on your failures or your successes. Fix your eyes on Jesus Christ. It's so important that you make focused time with Him and His Word. And just let Him fill you up with His love. Let His Spirit come in and fill you up with your love. And that is going to overflow into your children naturally. And that's a far greater gift to them than being a perfect mother. And then, too, let them see a mother that humbles herself and God's plan in her life. You know, this is from experience, too. I'm going to tell you that life seldom turns out the way that you plan for it to. It's going to take you on a journey to places that you would have never expected. A lot of them are good and they're wonderful, but some of them probably won't be. But just whatever situation you're in, take it to Jesus and let your children see that, because I can think back at times in my life, you know, things happen. I've become angry, resentful, bitter at times. I've had pity parties. I've even said a bad word a few times. But I guess what I'm saying, I wish that I had more of those times. But we're human, right? That's going to happen. We're human. But at those times, I wish that I had more let my children, my grandchildren see me take those things to the Lord. Just humble yourself and just, under His plan, because He's good and He's faithful. And it's a lesson that you can't sit down at a table and teach your kids those things. It's something they have to see. And then, too, I know how weary and how tired you can become sometimes. It's like you're carrying around a backpack and it's just full of, worries and burdens and what ifs and I have to and I need to. But find your strength in the Lord. Just go to the Lord and find your strength in Him, because when you're weak, He is strong. That's what the Word says. And I just want to end with this. This is short, so we can all maybe get to the restaurants before everybody else does. So. Yeah. Hint. This is what Psalms 147, 10 through 11 says. It says, His delight is not in the strength of a horse, nor His pleasure in the legs of a man. But the Lord takes pleasure in those that fear Him, and in those whose hope is in His steadfast love. Our hope is in His steadfast love. He'll make us the women and the mothers that we need to be. He will do it. We can't do it, but He will do it.
Amen. Why don't you guys come back? Come on, Libby. I may just ask since we're so early, won't the praise team come? Maybe we can just be thinking what you want to do there to close out. But we're going to close out and we'll get out early. But, I don't know who I was even talking to, somebody this week. I said, I've learned over the advantage of getting older. The older you get, it's like you have learned things through the course of the life. Sometimes it takes a long time to learn, doesn't it? And I said, I really have an appreciation now more than I ever have in my life for older people, me being one. But I do because of the wisdom, because of things and the life experiences. And that's what I was hearing coming out of Teresa, life experiences. And we need it. You know, we need to listen. That's why I love a house. I love a church that has all varieties of age. We need the young people. We need the older people. We need the maturity. We need the zeal. We need the passion. We need all those things together. But if you don't have somebody, we got several people that's got some years of experience, and young girls, young boys, man, I would connect. And I just encourage you to make a relationship with somebody that you can share things that you may not even be able to share with your parents, and to talk and to ask questions and to say, I'm struggling in this area of my life, or this is what's going on at school and I don't know what to do, or this is what's happening. Find people that you can trust, that you can depend on, that will not just tell you what you want to hear, but will give you the word of the Lord, the truth. And we as the older ones need to take the time to reach out and help develop those relationships too, because they're going to be a little hesitant to come and try to talk to you. So we need to make it accessible, ourselves accessible to them.